What's going on, guys? Bexio back, and today we're going to talk about Plug Power because they had a little bit of a deal going on, and a country's central bank is investing in Plug Power, and it's pretty big news. So we're going to look at this stock, see if we can think where it's going to go, and the news that's going on with it right now. So before we get into that, if you're not subscribed, make sure to smash that button because we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. But we can jump right into the biggest news right now, which is the central bank of this country, Norway, bought Plug Power stock. So they sold Apple and they bought Nvidia, Plug Power, and Neo. So big things here. Right here, Norway central bank says it doesn't commit on individual investments, and the bank has a total assets of $1.47 trillion as of the end of 2021. So what they did is sold 26.8 million shares of Apple stock, and they still have, I think, this 142 million shares of Apple. So I think that means they still have it, but we can see, there's the stock soared last year, and they cashed in some gains, doing whatever, reallocating funds. And we can see that in the fourth quarter 2021, they bought 2.6 million additional Plug Power shares. So they have 7.4 million shares of Plug Power. So not insane amount, nothing crazy. They still have substantially more in Apple and things, and it makes sense. Apple's a blue chip company, the most valuable company in the world. But they're adding positions to Plug Power. They see how good Plug Power is moving forward, that there's something to be said here, that Plug could possibly be a pretty big company in the future and be growing into something big. And right now is a good time to get in. So maybe that's what they're seeing. It's kind of interesting to see a central bank of an entire country invest into Plug. And we also got Plug Power taps ABB for $300 million hydrogen plant. So basically, the ABB will provide electrical systems for the U.S. hydrogen plants from Plug. Big deal, because Plug's the largest buyer of liquid hydrogen in the world. They're going to be the largest producer of hydrogen in the world pretty soon once they start getting everything up and going. And just the main point for Plug here, companies are racing to deploy clean burning hydrogen as fuel in vehicles, especially those where batteries face greater technical and economic challenges such as heavy trucks, and as a power source. So something that hydrogen could be very good for, that batteries just aren't going to be able to replace because of them being super heavy in trucking, in shipping. It just doesn't make sense to have a battery be there, but hydrogen could easily be that replacement there. So as well as a power source being like a battery, or like a battery backup to something, or actually just using to create power, hydrogen can do that too. So there's a lot of markets where a lot of people are going to say that EVs are the future and all these things, and they could be for everyday kind of work or everyday travel, but it's not really the answer for this trucking industry, shipping, heavy duty machinery, those types of things. You can't really use these EVs for. And we see the value of their contract here, not disclosed, but the plant projects. So the plants that Plug's opening are going to be valued at $200 million to $300 million. Substantially steps up from their revenue right now. Hopefully, we continue moving forward, seeing Plug grow their revenue quarter over quarter and continue getting closer to profitability and hitting that number. They have 2 years now until they can hit profitability, get to their goal. If they don't hit in 2024, might have other problems going on, but I think they're well on the road there. You can see their customers have signed on to buy power from the plant, but they wouldn't really say or talk about who the customers are, except for their big name ones that everyone already knows about, like Amazon, Walmart, Home Depot, and General Motors. So maybe they're growing more, they're getting more customers, more people involved in this process. And we know one of the biggest problems with Plug was the fact that they had to outsource their hydrogen and outsource a lot of the process. And now they're doing it all in-house. They're bringing it all together with just through their company. They'll have so much more control and more ability to monitor everything and make sure that everything goes as planned. they're just going towards the right steps to get rid of the problems they used to have into solving them and being sure that they can actually just run everything in-house. That's the best thing they can do. And then just to end the article off with a reality check. So the problem with hydrogen right now is that it remains pretty costly. You can see producing hydrogen with renewable energy remains relatively costly. Last year, about twice as much as other methods. So you can make hydrogen with wouldn't be green energy or renewable energy because you use oil or natural gas to create hydrogen. And Plug doesn't do that. They do it the green hydrogen. So we'll see if they can bring that down and really go after it. They'll just have the best of both worlds with being a green energy as well as having affordability, because if it doesn't matter really if it's green energy, if it's unaffordable, because no one's going to really want to have to pay for that. So we'll see if they can get the price down, and I think they're already working on that and doing pretty well. So the future looks pretty good for Plug. And we got to look at Plug's price chart for the upcoming week here. We can see we are actually in this red channel. So before we broke into here, thought we were going to be all right. We had a couple candles in here and a major plummet, actually fell back out, came right back in, and we are still in this zone. So what I want to see is not going below here, not going below 23.63, breaking out of it. It should be a strong support, because if we go back to this section here, we can see it being a massive support, bouncing off of here 3 times before it launched up to $46. So we should have strong support, strong resistance. So this should be a range that we're probably stuck in for a while here. $23.63 to $28.37. So that this range, I'm expecting it to range in here for a while. As long as no crazy news comes out, we should see it just kind of dip up and down in this range, unless something ridiculous comes out and oil prices just skyrocket, or the economy is super suffering, or something that no one is expecting to happens. We should be in this range. But if that does happen, we could fall out. But even just recently, we've been on a pretty good little uptrend here. Nothing too ridiculous. I mean, if we go all the way back here, it might be a little bit of a ridiculous kind of uptrend, but we'll see if that holds or breaks. And it's not really some crazy uptrend, but we can see if it interacts with that or holds. That would basically mean tomorrow that should be $24. It should be the lowest it can go if it bounces off of here and just goes up to this all-time resistance here. So we'll see how everything interacts, see what it does. I'm expecting this range to last for a long time, just like it did back here, and just kind of be something we stay in for a bit unless some major event happens that can be both good or bad. We could have a major good event that the market loves and we could blast through this, or a major bad one that the market hates and fall below it. So Plug has got some things going for them. They're solving their problems with pricing and affordability. They've been bringing prices down and actually compare themselves to be closer to the pricing of diesel instead of like the pricing of gas. So slightly more expensive than gas, but extremely brought those prices down from what hydrogen used to be, especially green hydrogen that they are. They got their plants opening up. They won't be operational until next year, I think, is when they'll actually be done and start really producing stuff. But a lot of things going for Plug, bringing everything in-house and being able to control every step of the way and have some sort of process in place and really be able to continue moving forward. And we're seeing them do all of that. So still bullish on Plug. They're only a $14 billion company compared to other energy giants, Exxon, Chevron, at like 200, 300 billion. We could see a lot of good growth here for Plug if they can get to their profitability goal 2024. They got to hit that, continue raising their revenues. Everything's looking pretty good for them. But as always, don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe for the road to 1,000 subscribers. I'll see you guys in my next video.